How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Black Metal Rebellion. I'm your host, Jesse Morgan, aka Slammerella. And as you guys might know, sometimes I like to do DIY, do-it-yourself videos on this channel of certain kind of artsy projects on here. Sometimes it's making crust pants or sewing on patches onto battle vests or different paint jobs of things. But I also like to do some dyeing of clothes. And I know a lot of you metal fans and horror fans or punks out there normally aren't a big huge fan of any shirts or clothes other than black, and that's understandable. And your least favorite shirts are probably white. So if you have a band that you really like, or if you have a horror t-shirt that you really like, but you're like, fuck, I get it, but it's white. It's gonna get stained, it's gonna get sweat all over it, it just doesn't match anything else in my wardrobe. Well, here's a fun idea. I recently got a shirt from Spirit Halloween, and it is the H is for Halloween, Michael Myers looking shirt here. And most people would look at this and be like, it's white, I'm never going to be able to wear this, and it looks terrible with the rest of my wardrobe. But if you get creative enough, you can fix that problem with some dye. And if you have a local Michaels around you, you can pick up some dye for around $6.99 Canadian. I'm not sure what that is in US dollars. That's probably $2 US. But yeah, you can get some dye. This is the kind I get. See if we can get all three in my hand for this thumbnail here. Probably not. Oh my gosh, my hands are not big enough. My pinky does not stretch that far. Ow. That'd be nice if it worked. God damn it. So there we go. Try doing that. Oh my god, that hurts my fingers. But yeah, I got 3 colors of RIT dye here. Again, $6.99 Canadian. Don't know what that is in US. But we're going to try tie-dyeing my shirt and see how that goes. Now, RIT dye is a very permanent dye. So if you get this on anything that's cotton, it is not coming out. So make sure you cover your clothes. If you're wearing anything that could possibly be dyed, make sure that's not around. So I'm going to be taking some of this and I'm going to be diluting it in half with water. And I'm also going to be making sure the shirt is wet first too, because if it's not, the dyes aren't going to soak in and do that swirly kind of like leaking looking look that you have in tie-dye stuff. But yeah, so we'll come back after this is dyed and we'll do the outro for this video, and you can maybe be inspired to pick up some white shirts now because you know what to do with them. All right, so here we are. Here's the shirt again that we're going to be dyeing. Watched a couple videos on what design I really wanted to do with this, and it's going to be called what the guy called a pinwheel. He did a design that was a mistake, but I actually liked how he did it, and it gave me an idea of how we're going to do mine. He advised to turn it inside out, so that's what we're going to do now. And then once it's turned inside out, we're going to have to soak it and get it wet first. So we're going to do that now. Once we do that, obviously we're going to start putting the rubber ties around it to
elastic.
seal it in. He used kite twine or whatever, and it looked a little bit easier for him to use that. So I feel like this is probably be a pain in the ass to try and keep it all together, but we're going to do it anyway. So let's soak this shirt and get that part started at least. Using hot water. Because normally with RIT dye, you have to use boiling hot water. Oh, okay, that burns. I'm just doing as minimalist as possible. Alright, wring that out. So, got it there. And then what the guy did was just kind of like grabbed where he wants the spiral to start from, and he just kind of started twisting.
Hope yours turn out better than mine did.
Well, we're also using way more expensive dye.
No, I mean like because I was having trouble with the twisting part.
Oh, I got you. Well, we'll see. I'm not really all that concerned. I know there's going to be some parts that are a little more spirally than others, and it's all right. I'm not trying to be a perfectionist with this thing. So that's the general spiral, I guess, that we're going to get from this. And then I'm going to have to tie this somehow. So got our rubber hairband ties. Again, the guy used twine in his. I'll try to actually remember to link the video that I watched for this help in the description so you guys can figure that out too. Honestly, I'm not fucking around with it too much more. That's about as good as that
It's pretty good.
part's gonna get. So then we're gonna make sure to not dye the bathtub as much as we can. So I'm gonna throw it on a bag. And then I'm gonna mix the RIT dye with the half bottles of water. Alright, so now I'm gonna fill each one of these. These are already halfway filled with water. I figured half and half. The RIT dye should be fine. So let's do. Alright, yep. And again, this isn't normally what you'd use for tie-dye dye. The guy was going on about some other dye. This is just kind of what I use because it's at Michael's. Alright, so that's one mixed up. I'll come back when all three are mixed up. Well, I guess we're going to start with the orange and yellow. Alright, wish me luck. Corner over here. There we go. They kind of did that, but a little better. They're more equally triangular. That's okay. We're working on the fly here. It's all good. I see what you're saying. So like this. Alright, so there we go. Now we're going to do the back side black. And then you're supposed to lay it on the black side. So then the guy covered the back, which left long streaks to go all through it. So hopefully that's what happens here.
Ready?
Yep. Okay, well, that's done. And now we wrap it. All right, we managed to get it into the bag with the dark side facing down. The guy left it for about 48 hours, but with RIT dye, I feel like maybe 24 will be fine. We'll check on it in about 24 and we'll rinse it and do a reveal. Okay, so we ended up wrapping it up and we decided to wait the full 2 days. Now we're gonna do the rinse and then reveal, I guess. Cross your butts that it turns out good, because I'm not buying another $30 shirt from Spirit Halloween. I mean, I'm probably going to, but not the same shirt. Alright, so here's kind of what it looks like. A lot of black on the bottom, the orange and the yellow. Hopefully that rinses out and looks a little better than what this looks like. Alright. That's as rinsed out as we're gonna get it. Bathtub's drained. This is as rinsed as it can get with all the elastics on it. Let's do the reveal now, I guess. Ready?
Yep.
All right. Well, that's what it looks like on the outside. So let's flip it in over to see if the print looks good.
That's pretty sick.
That is way better than I was hoping for, that's for sure.
Wow, hon.
Yeah. And this is the first time I've ever done this, and I did it as quickly as possible and didn't really try to make sure that the wrinkles were perfect, but I think when that's rinsed out and dries,
That's sick.
that's going to look sick as hell. I'll probably put some pictures in the end of the video at least, but yeah, thanks for sticking around and watching this. This was fun to do. I'm so glad it turned out this well. I'll try to again remember to leave that link to the guy's channel that showed me how to do this. So yeah, awesome. So there you have it. There is my first time ever trying to do the spiral pinwheel design tie-dye for a shirt. It surprisingly turned out really well. The tightness of the spirals that I did with the folds wasn't perfect. I was using elastics instead of twine to tie it, and some of the parts are kind of flopping out the ends. The dye that I was using was RIT dye instead of high-end tie-dye dye, so I wasn't using like the kind you're supposed to use. I just used my regular RIT dye that was half water and half dye solution with moist shirt. It seemed to work really well. The only thing that I wish I had done, like I said, was make sure that the folds were a little tighter and nicer, and maybe had the ties on there a teeny bit better. But I'll get better with that with more experience. The kids seen the shirt and they want to do a tie-dye shirt like that now. And the orange and yellow ratio was a little off from what I wanted, but still somehow ended up looking pretty good. I wanted a little bit more yellow in the pie sections on the top, but it still turned out pretty good. And the black all on the bottom had me a bit worried. I'm like, oh god, is that going to seep through? Is that going to mess up with the other colors? There's a little bit of patches here and there, but I feel like it made it gave it more of a dirty, grungier kind of tie-dye look, so it wasn't too bad. And laying it with the dark spot on the bottom made sure it didn't seep through to the top and mess with the orange and yellow. So all in all, I think I followed the instructions pretty good, and it turned out the best it could for the first time ever doing this and not using the proper dye. So as you can see, this is what it looks like dry. Yeah, that's the front. Here's the back. Doing the inside out method worked really well, and I'm probably going to do this again in the future with another white shirt. Let me know if you guys try this. Let me know if this inspired you to tie-dye a plain boring white shirt that you might not have otherwise worn or bought, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. For glory, for the rebellion, Slimerella out.